The nursing admission interview is one aspect of the nursing admission process that can make you so nervous and so anxious and shy, because you are going to sit in front of some people that you've never met before, and this might even be the first time you are going for anything of this sort. So it's understandable that you might be shy. So in today's video, we are going to look at shyness and how to overcome it during your interview so that you can excel, answer your questions smoothly and comfortably, and excel and pass your interviews. So if you're interested, let's get right into it, okay? All right. Before we talk about how to overcome shyness, let's look at the word shyness itself. Shyness is a feeling of fear or discomfort caused by other people, especially in new situations or among strangers. It is an unpleasant feeling of self-consciousness. So that is shyness. Emphasis on fear or discomfort, and then the exposure to new environments. Before I went for my nursing interview, I had never sat before anybody to talk about this. I've never even been to the headmaster's office to ask me questions. So that is how new the nursing interview process was for me. And imagine walking inside the interview room and these four big magagiaistic women were sitting. Hey, a small 90-year-old me sitting, I couldn't even sit well. I get why you might be shy, because this is a new environment. This is something new, something you have not experienced before. So because it's new, you are scared that you might want to mess up the interview. You are scared that you don't know enough to answer the questions. You don't know what questions will be asked and all of that. So because of that, and sometimes when you are example for Winneba, we were all seated in one big classroom on the interview day, and you see this, the pressure, this other interviewees, and hey, do you know the minister for this? Hey, do you know this? So if they ask you this, what are you going to say? And all of this, do you know the minister for, hey, I don't know the minister for health too. Hey, do you know the minister for finance? Hey, I don't know the you are not comfortable with this environment, and now all these people are also making you feel like you don't know anything, like you don't know much. And so because of that, you are timid, you are uncomfortable, you curl back into your own shell, and when you finally get into the interview room, you are not able to answer the questions the way you are supposed to, even though you might know the answers to those questions. So how do we overcome this shyness? Because I think you can have all the answers, but if you are shy, you'll not be able to vocalize and speak to the panelists to impress them and excel your interview. So number one is for you to practice. Practice. I know you have seen a lot of videos on nursing interviews, the questions that you'll be asked and all of that. Even that you know that no matter what, you will not just enter the room, you sit down and they ask you, what is the minister for this? What is the minister for that? Without letting you tell them about who you are, who is the person seated in front of them. No, it won't happen. So you know that no matter what, they will ask you to tell them about yourself. And that is the first icebreaker for you. Break the ice, tell a nice story, tell a good story about yourself. And before you can tell that good story about yourself, you have to practice. In fact, write a good essay on a sheet of paper, not too long, but a good essay on a sheet of paper. Read it back to yourself several times. Stand in the mirror, sit in front of a mirror and talk to the mirror as if someone asked you to talk. As if the mirror asks you to talk about yourself. So you are looking in the mirror, talking about yourself, smiling, saying it over and over and over again. And because you already know what to say, you've already structured your answer, it flows out of you and you are more confident because you know that this one I know, this one I understand. So you can speak. And from that, you move on from there. Because if you are not able to answer this question well, like I did in my whole interview, I couldn't talk about myself because I was shy. Myself, who didn't write myself in primary or JHS, but I couldn't talk about myself. And that was the beginning of the end of my horrible interview at home, just because I couldn't break the ice with that question. So prepare well for that. Number 2, make your mind up that nobody really cares how you look, how you are dressed. Nobody cares, because everybody is there for a reason. Everybody is there to get into the room and answer their questions, pass and come out. So nobody is actually looking at you. In this life, we walk around thinking that there is a spotlight on us and everybody is looking at us. But guess what? Everybody is also thinking the same way. So everybody is thinking they are walking with a spotlight on them and everybody is looking at them. So nobody is actually looking at you. So walk around as if you don't even, like, nobody knows you are there. That kind of thing. So the fear of, oh, I don't know what people will think about me. I don't know how they'll see me. Nobody is paying attention to you. It's a battle within themselves. So they are also thinking about themselves. So don't worry about what anybody is thinking. Number 3 is to share a story. Share a story. Sharing a story doesn't mean that when they ask you something, if you tell me about yourself, you start talking, oh, once upon a time. No, that is not what I'm talking about. But if there's a question that you can elaborate on, if there's a question that there is a story behind, tell that story, because human beings are curious beings. We like to hear other people's stories. If I sit here to try to talk to you about the stories of my life, you'll be hooked to watch, because we are just that curious and nosy by nature. So if they ask you, why do you want to be a nurse? Oh, I want to be a nurse because, then you tell the story behind why you want to be a nurse. For example, in my interview, I told them I want to be a nurse because when I was younger, I had skin rashes all over my body. In fact, the only part of my body that was left was the navel region. And so this nurse took very good care of me when I was hospitalized. So when I was discharged, I thanked her so much for taking good care of me. And she said, am I happy with how she cared for me? I said, yes. And she said, okay, pay it forward. So my way of paying it forward is to become a nurse so that I can also take care of somebody who is sick. Story. So from there, one panelist asked, oh, so you had skin rashes. What are some of the things that causes skin rashes in the community? So because I told a story, there were follow-up questions from that story that took a big part of the nursing interview. So be confident to tell a story. Example, if they ask you, how was your journey to this place? Oh, you can say, oh, it was fine, it was okay, and that's the end of it. No, maybe you've never been to that town before. Maybe you've never been to that region even before. So you can answer, oh, my journey here was very wonderful. My journey here was wonderful. It was interesting because this is my first time in the region and in this town. So I've learned a lot. I've seen a lot of villages and towns that I've heard in the news and all of that on the way to this place. So it's an eye-opener and an interesting journey. So, oh, okay. So did you see this? What was something significant that happened? You know, from that story, follow-up questions can come. And because it's something you already experienced, it's easier for you to answer. So don't answer yes, no to questions that you can actually elaborate on. That one also makes you relaxed to talk and excel. Another thing you can do is to take a breath. Breathe. Just breathe. When you get there, the first shock that you get, breathe. I got this. Breathe. Trust me, it works so well. I am a registered community nurse, and part of my job is talking in public. In fact, just last week, we had a meeting with the Nananum, you know, these queen mothers, big queen mothers, and chiefs and elders and opinion leaders with their golden bracelets and all of that seated big. And I have to talk. The first thing is to breathe. Just breathe, because that alone will calm your nerves. And then you sit comfortably. You breathe and smile. Good morning. Go from there and sit comfortably on your chair. If it has a backrest, make sure you are all the way back and your back is almost rested, not the lazy kind of, no, but you are rested with a good posture and ready to answer your questions. So take a breath, sit down, sit confidently, ready for action. These ones are nitty-gritty things that can calm you down during your interview. And also, if there's something funny and everybody's laughing. Laugh small. What? Laugh. You laugh. If they make a joke and everybody's laughing, it's okay for you to laugh. It is, nobody would take anything out of your points because this girl has laughed. Minus 10 marks. Nobody will do that to you. It also helps to make you relax. So if they are laughing, laugh some, okay? All right. And know that you got this, okay? You got this. The people on the panel will not kill you. They are just there to know you and give you the opportunity to be admitted into that school. Don't overthink it and ruin your interview, okay? All of my love, my dears, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.